So I have made like a life-size dinosaur, if that's kind of like you can imagine.
The size of
maybe
an
like
actual
a
dinosaur.
2 meter tall.
That's big. That's big.
That's big.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. I'm really impressed, Adam.
Yes, his mouth's gone a little bit wonky, but other than that.
Oh my God, am I reinventing this like century-old Japanese play art form into something quite extraordinary, like something quite unique? As an artist, place meaning to the object. That's when the shape becomes an art form.
It's variety.
Now, on today's episode, we have something really quite unusual. We have the remarkable origami artist, Coco Sato. Coco, it's lovely to have you on our podcast, and welcome.
Thank you for having me. Lovely to see you,
yes,
Adam.
Lovely to see you too. Well, maybe we can actually start with origami itself. I mean, obviously, I know it's a sort of paper folding, but how would you sort of describe it or where it's come from?
So I get this question all the time. So yeah, of course it's a paper folding, art of paper folding, but I think the history originates to more something deep in Japanese history, that the paper were brought from China by Buddhist monks, and the aristocrats of Japanese back then, probably around 8th century, 7th century, they come up with a poem and then they write a poem on a paper and then think about the person sending the poem to and then fold the paper into some kind of like beautiful shape. It can be flower, it can be bird, something they can see in a season to...
So it's almost like a creative letter, a way of...
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's interesting. So it was a creative way of sending a poem.
Yes, showing respect to the person sending the letter to, or maybe wrapping the gift.
Interesting. So your own background, where were you born?
I was born in Tokyo and then brought up in Yokohama. I divided my time between Tokyo and Yokohama.
And where's Yokohama?
Yokohama is just south of Tokyo. It's a port town.
I've never been, unfortunately. Japan. One of my
you should go.
One of my bucket lists, which I definitely need to do, but I haven't yet. So if I ask any geographical...
it's just a 20 minutes ride from Tokyo.
So, and were your parents artistic at all?
No, they are both professionals. They focused on good education, good manner. But it's funny enough, my mom is a lawyer, but her hobbies are like making clothes, textiles, cooking nice food, and very creative. And so is my father, and he was a professional person. But, weekends, he may be like building latest computer from scratch or writing a code back in 80s.
Which is creativity, isn't it, as well? You sometimes think that code writing and all that type of stuff is just science. I mean, it is science. But
it's the latest technology he was really
It is a way of demonstrating creativity. So your own interest in origami, how did that start?
Origami is something everybody can do in Japan, I would say.
Like, you taught it at an early age?
Like, it's a bit like a Play-Doh or coloring equivalent. So it's a creative play for kids and for families. It's, you just need hands and paper. So it's not something I thought it's an art form back then, really.
It was just, as you say, a method of play.
Yeah.
Which is, in a way, quite important because all art is a method of play, at least to start with, isn't it?
Right.
Painting, drawing, singing, dancing. We all do it sort of for fun.
Agreed.
And the trouble is, though, occasionally you then take it seriously and the fun element disappears a little bit.
You get lost, right.
You get lost. So do you think when you now do origami as your profession, you still try and encapsulate the fun in it?
Absolutely. I want to try to make as simple as possible so it's not difficult for the audience to learn or watch. When it's simple and when they can believe that they can do something with very simple material like paper, I think it just sparks that creativity that's hidden inside.
Hidden in everyone. So you, like a lot of Japanese children, did origami growing up. At what point did you think you're going to take this slightly more seriously than just a play thing.
So I did a degree in printmaking and photo media. So it was paper-based art. It's print. So it's a paper, sort of 2D print. And the paper could be folded into some shape. So maybe that's something I thought like, oh, this is the art I'm studying, but also I can combine something I know. And it's not something difficult for me. Paper folding is not difficult for me because I've been doing so long. And combining into some kind of form to present it. So it becomes like a sculptural presentation.
So just describe that to me so I can picture that. So what are you folding at that point?
So if you print something, so let's say photography. So
Yes.
I did a photography as a major.
Yes.
And then you print a picture
Yes.
of your image
Yes.
and you can, display as a 2D framed art.
Yes.
But you can also fold it into a shape to create different dimension to show to the audience as a piece of sculpture instead of a piece of framed art.
So it becomes 3D rather than 2D as a piece of sculpture. So already this is going beyond origami as the average man in the street, as I would perceive it as just as a relatively flat, folded thing. So this was at university you started?
Yeah, in college many years ago.
And then was a point after that you realized that there was a way of earning a living out of that?
Yeah, so photography is a very expensive form of art to practice because you have to buy camera, you have to buy lens, and you have to be able to travel, you have to be available. And I became a mother, 25 years old. So I thought, those things aren't good fit for me anymore. I can't do any cool gigs.
You have to be at home with your son. Yes.
Yeah. So I thought, what can I do? I still want to be out there doing something. And maybe teaching is a good thing to do. And, I spent £25 to buy a stash of paper and start teaching classes for young kids. So I can bring my son with me and it wasn't stressful, something I can do easily.
So you started off by teaching, and at the same time, were you also still creating stuff?
So I thought, as I started teaching, origami is usually very small. You use this paper, which is 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter.
That's a square.
Yeah, it's too small for the kids to see what's happening with the demonstration. So I decided to use larger paper and started folding, including my body movement.
Wow,
and
that's
that
interesting.
Had the initial, immediate wow impact. And then that was picked up by festivals, UK summer festivals. And I started making large scale origami shapes.
So you're then talking about an element of choreography within the... So it's not just the folding, it's the whole movement thing. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, so around that time I thought, oh my God, am I reinventing this century-old Japanese play art form into something quite extraordinary, something quite unique? And so I'm just keep reinventing the perception of this paper folding art. What can I add? What can I remove?
So that's why I asked, I suppose, at the beginning what it is, because I suppose, like any art form, for it to be successful, it needs to constantly
reinvent
itself,
reimagining,
reimagine it. So you're talking about size. So what's the biggest piece you've ever?
So there aren't many big papers. So I just buy the largest paper, which is A0, A1 paper, and then cut into square. I glue them. And it was probably about 4 meter by 4 meter. And it was more like a giant origami performance as opposed to giant origami sculpture. So the folding process has become the art form for me. So I have made a life-size dinosaur, if that's kind of you can imagine.
The size of
maybe
an
a 2 meter tall.
That's big. That's big.
That's big.
So already you see, it's going beyond what I perceive as origami. That's on a much bigger scale and much more creative. And as you say, creating sculptures, really.
It is.
And then from that, you started performing in festivals and stuff, doing.
Mm-hmm. making installations, performing. I enjoy both. It's a different approach because if I'm making sculpture, I have to think about the finished shape and product to withstand the gravity and also the look of it. It has to be precise and beautiful. But when it's a performance, it's the moment I'm sharing with the audience, the connection I'm making is more important. So, finished shape may not be as good as perfect as it should be. But that's just a different approach, I guess.
We'll get on to making something shortly. But if you're doing something basic, simple, I presume you don't need much equipment. In fact, you don't have much equipment.
So I usually carry like a couple of 100 sheets of paper to
around you at any time, any day.
I actually do tend
just
to
in
have
case,
paper,
just in case someone's
paper in my bag.
You never know.
And also very fancy scissors.
Oh, they're gold.
Because it
gold
has
scissors?
To be nice scissors, right?
Real gold scissors?
Yes.
Good. And what's that?
This is a folding bone. So I think if you are into like bookbinding, you might have seen this tool.
Okay, I must admit
because
I'm
I
not
do
particularly
lots
into
of
bookbinding.
folding,
But
my fingertip gets really sore, so I tend to use a tool like this to go over the edges, so the folded edges are very crisp.
Okay. We had, I don't know if you know Charles Burns, the silhouette artist. So he didn't have the folding thing, but he too just had a piece of paper.
And scissors.
His scissors were a lot smaller. He had very,
they have really nice, really fine scissors.
But it is amazing, isn't it? Just what you can do with very little.
And hands.
And of course. And yes, the bit that God gave you is probably the most important.
These are like, just in case tools. So
sorry, you don't really even need the scissors, do you?
No.
It's really just your hands.
Just in case some shapes start with maybe not exactly square, I might have to have like a rectangle shape to begin with.
Okay.
So for example,
yeah, sorry, I
can I show you maybe? So for example, I can make you a little gift.
I only really invite guests who make me laugh.
Rather than just like, embarrassing you for asking you to fold, I can make a little present. So something like this, I can start with cutting paper into rectangle shape, not square shape anymore.
Actually, we'll get on it later about the mathematics of this, because I think that's quite interesting. Shapes and how you can use...
Definitely.
Because, the one thing... Actually, that I've never been able to do, the all young children thing to annoyance of their parents, is making paper aeroplanes.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that must be sort of origami-ish.
They are origami, aren't they? Like
You know the ones I mean? You fold a piece of paper and then you chuck it and try and get it to fly. Mine tend to just drop out the sky and not really get anywhere. But... you don't really think of that as origami, but I suppose it is.
It is origami, because origami literally means paper folding,
So in Japanese, is that what it means?
It's as simple as paper folding.
So I was not wrong when I said that's what I thought it was. So you are making me a gift, and at the moment I have no idea what it is, although I am very excited.
Yes. I thought this is something you need today, because it looks like you left your home in hurry. There you go.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you very much. This is a bow tie, my first paper bow tie. Not sure how that fits. Okay, think. My first, thank you. You're right, I needed that. That's brilliant. Thank you. And it goes, the colours.
Yeah, it goes. Absolutely. Just like...
Very good.
It's variety.
Okay, so I want to show you how to fold origami butterfly. So first of all, this paper is both colored, same color, both sides. But if you've got a normal origami paper, you put the color side down, like a square. Origami usually start either square or diamond. For this shape, you start with square in front of you, and then fold paper in half horizontally. And then place your fingertip along the crease line so the folds are really sharp. And then fold paper again. So now you have this smaller square shape. Rotate it to find open ends, and then make the two sides of the square stand up. Then with your index finger, insert it to the very end, and then place down this fold line to form a triangle shape. So now squares turn into triangle shape, as you can see. And then flip the shape over. Make this square shape to stand in the middle. So give a crease both ends. And then again find the open ends. Insert your index finger and then press down to transform the square into triangle, just like you did. So all the triangles lines up. So now it looks like a mountain shape. Then place it in front of you. And then the ends of the mountain meets at the top. So let's do it one by one. Right. Now we're going to rotate this shape 180 degrees and then flip it over. So let's bring this corner above this edge. To do this, you have to really force this. So when you do this, the sides gets really, really tensed. But it doesn't matter. So if you try to release the tension by placing your finger from center to side gently, and then flatten this edge. Okay, so let's flip it over and then bend this corner to cover the edge. And press down really firmly. And then use this center line as a guide. Fold the shape in half. Again, press down really firmly. And then hold this 90-degree corner like this. And then bend the shape. So these are butterfly wings. And here is your origami butterfly completed.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
Was it all right?
That was right. And that's very simple-ish.
Simple-ish. Would you like to give a go?
I will. Yes, I will give it a go. I will give that a go. Let me see. In fact, yes, I will give it a go. Any colour. I'll choose any colour.
Like a lilac colour.
Lilac. I like lilac colour.
Outfit.
Yep. I'm rubbing my hands to warm up. Okay, so now is the time in the episode where I get a guest, i.e. you, to teach me something.
Right.
What are you going to teach me how to do?
I'm going to teach you one of the most simplest shape I know.
Well, that's lucky.
And yes, it's going to be an origami cat.
Yeah, I need to warn you, I used to get chucked out of art classes for being so useless. Really? So just warning you.
Okay, so again, the paper we have today is both same color, so you don't have to worry about which side. Yes. But if you have a normal origami paper, place the color side down, so you are facing the white side towards you. And then place the paper like a diamond.
A diamond, yeah.
Okay, and then fold in half diagonally.
Yeah.
And then make sure you run your fingertip along the crease line, so the creases are really sharp. And then we're going to fold this triangle into half again too. But this time, you just want to have a little mark at the edge.
Am I folding this in half again like this?
Yeah, but then you don't have to go over all the way. You can just leave a little fold line in the middle like this.
Yes.
And then unfold. So now you know where is the center.
Oh, yes, I've got it,
of this triangle shape.
Yeah.
Now we're going to fold both sharp edges.
Yes.
But not all the way, but halfway.
To the center, halfway to the center?
Halfway by, a bit like a pie. So you're cutting a pie.
Yes.
Like this.
Yes.
Like this.
Is that right or
so
not?
You use the center line as a guide.
I see what you mean.
So the fold starts from this center line.
Yes.
Like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And then do the same to the other side.
Yep. Yeah.
And then this large 90-degree corner.
Yes.
We're going to bring it down towards you by folding.
Yes.
And then edges touches this end of the flaps. Yep.
Yes.
And then flip it over.
Yes.
So now you have a shape like a cat.
Yes.
Let's add a little character by adding a little mouse.
Yes.
And the nose by folding this tip. Go
Yes.
upwards and then downwards. Here you go.
Hold on. Well, not too bad.
Not too bad at all. I'm really impressed, Adam.
Yes, his mouth's gone a little bit wonky, but other than that, thank you.
This is the first time you do this
This is the
too.
first time I've done this. This is the first time I've done this.
This is great.
So if I can do this means that almost anyone
can do
do
this.
it. Well,
So yes, please get your paper out and give it a go.
give it a go. So Coco, on your website, you mention that you use origami to change people's vision of the world, the way people see the world.
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So this is a very simple material.
Yes.
As a material, I think it can't get any more simple than this. It's sheet of paper.
Yes.
And all you need is usually hands. So the beginning is such a simple, and also the paper, look at this, like this, such a simple material. And then, but what you can create with this is kind of infinite. Like you can do anything by just folding with your hands. So this is already like shaping your perception of the shape and the beginning.
What strikes me is that a lot of where we are today, technology in particular, is very complicated. There's a lot of stuff involved, a lot of wires, lots of things. This stands in direct contrast to that, doesn't it?
So it's a tactile material. It's a very simple material with the shape. And by folding, you kind of, it's a play. It's not something you have to learn, something skill. You don't need a qualification. But you can, after doing few times folding, twisting, flipping, end up with some kind of, interesting shape. I think this alone is that you realize, I can do something really, really interesting. That's the kind of feeling I want to invoke.
You also work using origami for STEM subjects, in particular maths.
Mathematics.
Yes.
Technology.
Tell me the link between origami, paper folding, and maths. Then I presume it's to do with shapes.
So I work with mathematicians, and they are the expert of angles, numbers, geometry.
Yes.
And they help me to realize my vision in shape, to transform sheet of paper into usually 3D shapes.
But looking the other way around, can you use origami as a way to teach young children about maths?
I believe so, because this is this is a 90-degree corner. This is a square. By adding one fold, diagonal fold, now it becomes triangle. So I think it's very tactile and very quick way of demonstrating fairly a complex concept.
This is obviously, as we've discussed, a Japanese art form.
Mm-hmm.
Do different nationalities, when they approach origami, approach it in a different way? Or is everyone sort of approaching origami in the...
So, like I said, in Japan, origami is considered to be kids' play. But in the West, engineers use them to realize the complex concept. Even NASA used the same origami concepts to fold very complex shape into small shape so that it can be opened in the space and things like that. Also, I work with mathematicians, and they are kind of using the origami method to translate their complex concept in a very simple way.
So that's quite interesting how NASA used it as a method fold up big stuff.
Big stuff into small stuff. So it's easy to transport to space. Or maybe they're thinking about exploring Mars or exploring beyond.
Can I ask you a question about folding? This is, growing up, we're always taught you can only fold a piece of paper how many times in half?
Is it like eight times or something?
Is that
Everybody
true?
says
I presume that is.
Shall we try this?
Yes, I do remember trying it at school on occasions.
Yeah.
In an art class before I got chucked out.
Here you go, Adam.
Okay, so this is 8.
So I'm going to do 1.
1.
And then
2. 3.
3.
4. Well, I don't think I can get much beyond.
Already I'm quite.
I'm already at 5.
5.
I think 6.
6. Yeah, with this paper, I think I am already.
But of course, however big the paper, every time it's by half, so it gets incrementally smaller.
That's right.
So it makes no difference at all.
For me today, 6 is the max I can go. I think 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You obviously do a lot of performing and you're out there. Do things ever go wrong? Like,
it always goes wrong. It's
what
scary. So performance is something.
Okay, so can I? Sorry, before we get onto that, I've got another question. Sorry to interrupt. Do you view yourself as an artist or a performer?
I see myself inherently as an artist who uses performance or folding or voice or expressing as an art form. So even performance for me is my way of showing my art. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. So anyway, let's then go back to what's gone wrong ever.
So with art, it's more solitary practice. You know, like I can make a mistake and go back, unfold it, go back and do it all over again. But with performance, it's always the moment, and it's not about me, my skill. It's about the audience. So there's a gap here that I am using my voice, my language to kind of give them instruction. And then the way they perceive it is not the way I want them to perceive it. So it's the interaction. That's the hardest part of performance as an art, I guess.
Can you think of anything that's gone wrong in a sort of a major way that's been difficult to...
Yeah, like, papers, for example, I was performing this giant origami performance in a very fancy venue in central London, and it started raining, and paper doesn't like rain.
Were you outdoors?
Outdoors, yes.
Yeah, paper doesn't like rain. That's a good quote. We'll keep that one.
It was beautiful. Everything was so spectacularly beautiful. It started raining, and I was like, paper does not like rain, and paper gets soggy and wet, and it just
and not foldable.
I can still fold them, but it tears really easily, and it just don't stay in a way that it should stay in a shape if it's giant origami.
Well, that's a lesson to you. Anyone trying origami, keep the paper dry. That's key.
Yes.
Key tip, I think.
And just pray for the good weather.
And pray for the good weather. The other thing that's obviously very much at the moment is AI. Mm-hmm. Is there any impact you can see with origami and AI at all?
So I was worried about when AI started coming in this like ads world, and I did kind of like lose some of the clients in the more like advertising. Like, if somebody wants me to make shapes for their ads, like they can actually do this now with AI.
How does that work?
I don't know. Like they seems to come up with a shape that looks like origami. And it's not really origami.
Yeah, but does it then print it?
If it's an image.
Yes.
Let's say you are trying to sell nice scissors.
Yes.
With origami shapes, you can kind of ask AI to place a scissors onto folded origami shape, and probably AI will create that image.
But that's not AI. That's not origami, though.
It's not origami at all. But it looks like, and it has got a feeling of, and it has got the aesthetic of folded shape.
Yes, because to be honest, I can't get my head around what that actually looks like. But yes.
Yeah, there was an advert. It had kind of origami inspired Christmas tree in this ad.
Yes.
And it's, for me, I can see, this must be done by AI because the folds and where the folds meet does not
Oh, okay.
make
Was
sense.
it was like a fake fold, sort of. It was
or the proportion's not right, or that's not possible,
But the one thing it can't do is this in real life, creating something.
The real life in this tactile touching paper.
And isn't this, in a way, I mean, here it's tactile, but the physicality, the physical presence of a singer or a dancer, that is something that technology at the
cannot
moment
replace at all.
cannot.
And I think we are more keen on this tactile activity because we are just on the phone all the time, and it's just this sliding on the screen. But this touching something and actually acting on making something I think it's very special.
And maybe we need it, as you say, more than ever because
Absolutely,
we're spending so much
agreed.
time. But the other thing this demands, doesn't it, is an element of concentration and focus. So you do need to be there in the moment where you're doing it. It doesn't fold itself clearly. You have to think.
Origami is the art form of some kind of rules. So there are lots of rules and you have to prepare for this rule. So you have to think about the finished shape and then how you can reach the steps. So
Yes.
That's something a little bit different from, let's say, painting or sculpture. Sculpture is removing. If you are carving a wood, you're removing the pieces. Or if it's painting, you can kind of go very freely, whatever it comes to you. But with origami, there's always rules.
And that is something which is important. And as I said, means you have to really, even doing something quite simple like I did, you have to follow instructions. And actually, it is quite interesting, isn't it? Because I find, generally speaking, following instructions quite hard. I mean, I don't know, setting something up from IKEA or anything, which has loads of instructions. And I think it is hard. And it involves you having to concentrate, which is, I say, particularly now with the mobile phones, people aren't used to doing. And I think is quite probably important.
And also, at the same time, I believe the origami is very therapeutic.
In what way?
There's some kind of the feeling of ease about following the instruction too. You're given the instruction, so you know what you're doing. There's there's something about groundingness about origami that you are following the instruction to make something, so you can concentrate on the preciseness of the fold, or you can concentrate on the details of the paper, or you can actually concentrate on feeling of the paper itself because you know what you're doing.
On the other hand, though, if you're following instructions, isn't art about being free somehow, to be creative? If you're merely following instructions, then you're not free or just following instructions, I suppose. So at what point does it become art, I suppose?
Yeah, when did this paper folding play has become art? Well, I believe when, as an artist, place meaning to the object, that's when the shape becomes an art form.
So that's that's creating your own rules then. That's taking a piece of paper and imagining something and creating it yourself. I mean, you've obviously been making a very successful career out of being an artist. What advice you'd give to young people who might want a career, not necessarily as an origami artist, but any form of artist? What would you say to them?
So my career has shaped by responding to the request, with something like, "Oh, Coco, can you come to perform this in a large scale?" And I'm like, yes, I can. And then I do something I didn't think it was going to be. It didn't occur to me to do that kind of thing. And then somebody else asked me to do it, and I do it. And suddenly it's a fusion of this, imagination and what I can do is great. And that's how there are different artists who more not forcing, but knew what they wanted to do, and then they deliver. But then I'm the kind of artist who is more like a channeling other people's wish and then create. And I feel immense joy in realizing other people's vision. I believe that, listen to advice from others is very good, and also responding to others will also give you different kind of perspective. And don't be so focused on your own, craft now. Like I said, I studied photography, and now I'm an origami artist. And there is some kind of relation to it. It's a paper based.
So maybe you're talking a little bit about being flexible and responding to opportunities that they come up. Saying yes to stuff and then panicking about it afterwards,
Yeah.
I do think is a sort of a good way forward within reason, because you never know where yeses might bring. Whereas if you say no to things, that just shuts that opportunity off.
I mean, it's always scary to do something first time.
But there's a magic in doing something first time.
Absolutely.
Because you're in there in the moment. I think art forms that involve improvisation, like jazz, for example, sort of every performance is a first time, because that's the nature of it, and that's what makes it magical. I think, taking risks maybe is important.
Taking risks, definitely. Do something that scares you. I mean, that's when something new happens. That's when you realize, oh my God, this is possible. So if it's not scary, it's not like you're just repeating the same thing. Well, there's a beauty in rituals, repeating things, because you perfect. But then there's a point when you have to do something it's quite scary.
And being outside your comfort zone. No, I would definitely agree with that. It's very tempting just to be safe, isn't it? And art, by definition, isn't safe. It is a challenge. It is scary. It is dangerous.
The greatest artist has always been the one who has done that thing. Or there's another way of saying, repeating, repetitive ritual is also an art form. So origami to me is it's quite repetitive. But there's a time when I needed to do something the way nobody has ever done before, to be that kind of person people pay attention and wants to kind of work with.
Great. Well, Coco, this has been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very much enjoyed it, and I've learned a lot more about origami than I ever knew. Not that I knew that much to begin with, other than paper folding. But and I've got my my bow tie, my bow tie to take away with me. So thank you very, very much.
My pleasure.
So thank you very much, Coco, and hope you enjoyed the episode. If you want to learn about future episodes, do visit us on our social media, on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. Until the next episode, I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.